you seem to have had a difficulty in life. All of a sudden there was some kind of calling, whether it be divine or your uncle picking up the phone and saying, hey, come do this thing. um, and you seem to just be willing and move forward and do it. um, that to me indicates, being a person, or the expression as it goes, being a man where there's no other man. Just when you're called to service, identifying that this is perhaps some kind of call or something. So what would be your lesson, that when life gets tough or whatever the situation is, move forward? Because that's the lesson I'm learning from your story. What would be your message to everybody else?
So there are two main things that I have found myself being rooted in and grounded in when it comes to when life gets tough. Actually, three things. Number one is look for something with meaning for your own
Mhm.
selfish purposes. When you can get that and you can find a little meaning for yourself, it will encourage you to chase more. It will inspire you to take action. Then the second thing is, when you get to that point where you're ready to take action, start small. A lot of people have
Right.
these grand expectations that if they're not, they don't have $1 million business overnight, or they haven't changed the world in a day,
Mm.
then it's a failure. And there's actually I heard some metaphor story. There's a really great book called Wisdom from the Bat Cave by Rabbi
Mm.
Dr. Carrie Friedman.
Hmm.
He is a former professor at Duke University, and he
Hmm.
kind of spiritually breaks down Batman, Wisdom from the Bat Cave. It's incredible.
Wow.
And he talks about this metaphor of a man walking on the beach, and he sees someone throwing a starfish from that washed up on shore into the ocean. But there are thousands of starfish. And he went over to him and said, why are you doing this? You're never going to finish throwing all the starfish back into the sea. And he says,
Hmm.
true, but at least I put one back. And
Mhm.
that's kind of the mentality that I've tried to adopt for myself, which is not like, it's okay to want to achieve perfection, as digitizing every grave in the world and preserving every memory, preserving all of us, preserve us. But if you get inspired by just doing one headstone, one starfish, then that's okay.
Mhm.
And that will keep you motivated for a very long time. The last thing is, once you have your motivation, you start small. If you can throw in and combine that with those actions for somebody else, doing things for
Mhm.
somebody else, it changes your life.
Right.
Because a lot of times people are unhappy because they don't feel they have that's their own. They feel insufficient. But
Mm.
when you give to somebody that doesn't have something, you're proving to yourself that I have something that somebody else doesn't have. And what I have to give is valuable, and it's
Mm.
wanted, and it's needed, and it's
Right.
appreciated. And when you can start operating through the mindset of, yeah, I have the selfish motivation to find meaning, but you package it with for others, it creates this beautiful
Mm.
harmony
Wow.
of like, you want to wake up and just
Yeah.
try to help people. You want to be that person that when you see someone walking down the street, or you see a cashier at a supermarket and their face is down, you ask them how you're doing. You
Mhm.
put a smile on your face when you see someone that use a smile. All these cliches that people talk about,
Sure.
they're so powerful. Like,
Sure.
people have the ability to change the trajectory of somebody's day just by giving the little bit that you have to somebody else. And like I said, I'm addicted to it.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
Sure. We do make a difference between inspiration and motivation, which is the most common misunderstanding that most people have. They confuse them very often. Motivation is where motivation runs out at some point. You do get tired of something, and some people, they lack motivation. But what you were demonstrating, and part of your story, is that inspiration component, where it is so much more inspiring to wake up in the morning and saying, I could make such a significant difference in the world, not just for me, but something greater than myself. and being able to give it over and do this thing for somebody else. And that's a testament to exactly what you're saying. Like it makes it just, I go to sleep happy, I wake up happy, I'm living this happy life, this fulfilled life, this really meaningful and I guess even rich life. But it's so evident from the way you're talking that you are an extremely fulfilled individual. And just your story is such an inspirational story. I mean, like I literally cannot say it in any other way.
Thank you. That means a lot. I would say that it's been a journey, and I'm not any more special than anybody else, and everyone has their hardships and challenges.
Sure.
But like I said, it's starting small, but also making a conscious decision that this is the life you want to live.
Right.
I believe happiness is a choice, and you don't just become happy overnight. You do things that can make you happy or that bring happiness to other people. And that can lead to inspiration and motivation. And eventually it becomes a habit. It's a muscle.
Right.
And doing the right thing is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the more reps you'll be able to do, and the more natural it'll be able to come. I mean, it's always hard to wake up at 5 a.m. to get to the gym.
Yeah.
But, once you've done it for a few weeks or a few months, it's routine.
Right.
And I really think that I want to give credit to a lot of people out there who didn't take the route that I did, which is I took the route to, after 4 months of hiding what I do, to publicize it. But there's so many people out there that you would never know do acts of kindness. And there's a lot of good work that happens in the shadows. And having the ability to assess a situation, walk into a room and identify, oh, there's some positive change that can happen over here, or this person needs help, or this person can use a smile, or this seems wrong, let me fix it. That's a whole other skill that can be learned over time, developed over time. But there's people out there who are a lot more humble than I am that do, like I said, do the work from the shadows. But once I got over the fact that I realized, you know what, I want to publicize this work, I think I can do more good by sharing. It kind of validated, once I got the positive feedback, it validated that it was the right thing to share my positive work. But there are going to be people that we walk by every day that you don't know that they've done incredible things. And
very true.
Those are the people that really support the world day to day. We can't forget them.